Round two. How are you guys tonight? I hope everyone's doing better. I had some technical difficulties, but we should have that all fixed by now. Let me say hi, everybody. There we go, that's working. Let's see. Yep, so everything should be working now. There we go. All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Jeremy, Flatware Creations. If you haven't yet, like, share, subscribe. There's a button for that. There it is. Today we're going to be making fork bracelets. We're going to use one fork and make a nice patterned bracelet. 2 fork tines though. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that and how to bend these the easy way and make it to where you don't have to work so hard to get tool marks out. And yeah. Hi, thanks for coming back. So what we're going to need for this is I've got my mallet. I've got another smaller mallet, brass end, hard rubber, tine bending tool, which is just a hi Gracie, hi Monica. This is a hollow driver. I'm going to be using a graduated pair of pliers. There's different sizes here. These are in the description posted below. Some flat pliers. My automotive pliers. And this tiny little pair that has really small tines. So let's get this show on the road and make it look like an actual video. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, we're going to take this fork and we're going to mark it so that we can cut off these outside 2 tines. So let me flip you guys right here. Okay, so what I'm doing is basically taking a ruler and I'm going to take it right along this edge. So what we're doing is we're going to cut off these 2 tines, just leaving the 2 middle tines. So I'm going to run a ruler right down here. Got my fine point Sharpie. Make sure this is pretty straight. To make sure it's drawing. There we go, we got 1 mark. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other one. And you do want to keep them pretty even. You can cut these with a hacksaw, you can cut these with a bandsaw, you can also use a jeweler's saw. So you can see my lines are kind of off here a little bit. So I'm going to fix that. I want it right about there. There we go. That matches up a lot better. And actually, I could do this. How does my mouse keep moving around? There we go. You're not gonna focus. There we go. Okay, so now we're gonna go over to the bandsaw and we're going to cut this off real quick. Like I said, you can take and make this, you can cut it with a hacksaw, put it in your vise and cut it, and then you can take your sander or file to file this flat. The goal is to get these two tines gone and have this pretty even. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so everything's ready. Let's flip you guys around here. Is this a tutorial better for the flatter forks, not round? So you can use pretty much all the forks for this. Yeah, I call these cat forks because they have a nice tall body. I also use them for dogs. Let's see, I just did 11 of these. That's not going to help us. Pretty much if you have the 4 tines, we can cut these just to get the 2. I did one that was a long fork with really short tines. That even worked. So we're going to hop over to the bandsaw real quick. Put on my, so do this at your own risk. If you don't want to have to clean up extra cuts on the fork tine, make sure you start not touching anything but almost back to the hole where you're going to cut. If you go in after it started, you can bounce around and cut into both pieces. So I got it right in the middle, it's not touching anything. And I'm going to be pushing it with my thumb, not my hand. Alright, so what we have left is these two guys. They will go in a bag, and we're left with this guy. Nice and even. Well, even-ish. Alright, let's come down here to see if I can get you here. Still trying to get used to the camera. Okay, so I'll be able to show you guys with this. For the 11 I just did, I had my mask on and everything. This is only going to take a minute, so it should be okay. And there's no rough edges from getting nicked by the blade. So this is going to make it a lot easier because we just have this piece here to flatten out and fix. All right, so let's swing over here. So we've got this, it's pretty smooth, but we're going to clean it up with our Dremel tool. Just going to use a drum. This is 240 grit. I'm going to put on some glasses because I'm blind. So I'm just going to basically be smoothing it out. I'm taking out all the teeth marks. Alright, so here's what we're looking at. This is the side that's all sanded down. We've got all those teeth marks. This is the way it looks with after we've gone over it with the drum. Nice and smooth, clean. Alright, so now we'll get this side. And a trick is if you're holding it at an angle, if you're holding this straight like this, you can get low spots where it sinks. But if you hold it at an angle, you'll be able to blend everything together. And I'm just lightly pushing. I'm just watching those marks just come out, and then I'm moving on. So just take your time to get those marks out. It really will show up a lot better whenever you've got the piece finished. Alright, everybody's nice and smooth. So as an extra effort, I will take and go to like my 220 grit wheel and just shine it up a little bit, but I'm going to take it down the length of the entire fork tine. These inside tines never really get touched, so just putting a nice shine on it will help later on whenever we're trying to finish it. It'd be less that we have to work. Okay. Alright, so let's call that good. I'm going to come to my buffer. And actually, I'm going to take you guys over here. and show you what I'm using. So this is a fiber wheel. It's pretty much dead. This is a piece of pipe I put on there to keep it on there. I'm just going to go over it just to smooth this out, and then I'm basically done with this. We're going to move over to our other side here and buff it out real quick, and then we'll get to the next step. So I'm taking a big breath so I don't have to put on my mask. Alright, we'll just wipe this off. Have we got trolls in here? Okay, so now we've got our fork. It's nice and clean. We're going to, let's see, I finished all of that. Okay, so next we have to cut it. So I'm going to bring it back to here. On my table, I have my measuring marks. So this needs to be 3 inches. Oh, we can't do that yet. Before we do that, we need to shape it. Wonder if I could delete. No. Okay. Can you guys still hear me? I'm gonna switch over here. Okay. Okay, awesome. I hit mute, so I wasn't sure if it was muting me. Come on, camera. Okay. So I'm using a piece of leather. It's really nice thick leather. Let's get this in here. All right, so now we're going to bend these tines. We can't measure anything. Well, we can measure the back, but we don't want to measure anything until we find out the actual length that this is going to be. So if you're making a medium bracelet, you want to cut it so long. Large bracelet, you want to cut it so long. We have to have these tines bent first before we can measure for the bracelet. So my plan is to make a double heart, or make one heart, and then we're going to loop the inside to create 2 hooks. So I got you guys there, and I got you there. Okay. So I've got my time bender on there. I'm going to take and bend it back just a touch, and then I'm going to bend it right over. So if you bend this all at the bottom, sometimes they'll just break. So you just lift up a little bit and turn it over. So we're going to go about 45 degrees over, 90 degrees over. Same thing with this one. So we've got both of our pieces here. I'm just going to flatten them out a little bit. Next, we're going to take our graduated pliers. You can do it with these guys, but it's a lot harder to get that nice smooth bend. So here's how I do this the easy way. If you try and bend these on their sides, you can do it, but it's really hard. So if you want to do something a little faster, we're going to take this, go around the big side, and we're folding it the side, the face of it. So I've got this rounded off here. I'm going to bring it to the next size down, still keeping it round, and I'm going to just get it to this point. So we're right here. Now we'll do the other side. Actually, we're going to bring this one up first. Okay, this one here is going to bend around. Same thing, starting off big. So here we are, we're going to hammer this down. And it's important to kind of bend it both sides so you know where things are going. So actually I bent that the wrong direction. That's awesome. All right, well, we're going to change plans because for the heart I needed both of them to go this way. Wonder if I could flip it over. Let's try flipping it over. So these are those flat pliers. We might be able to get it. So we're right here. Okay, so let's make these bigger right now. I'm just gonna pinch and open them up to try and get the bigger size in here. Bend it up. All right, so now we have a heart. Hi, Gracie. So let's hammer this down. Okay, so they're not quite touching, but that's okay because we're going to continue to twist them. Let me see if I can get that one to focus. Okay, so here's where our second set of round nose pliers come in. We're going to get this started turning just with the bigger side, the heavier end, and then we're slowly going to work out towards the tip. And whenever it stops bending and you feel like your pliers are gonna break, we'll stop right there. So I'm gonna start right here, get this rolling around. Let me zoom in here for you. Just keep this moving around. Okay, so now we have our shape like this. Well, we can go through that right now. Once we get this together, I'll show you how to take off any of these tool marks. So we still have our heart, but now we have a heart with curls. So we're going to want to bring these together. An easy way to do this is just to bend it up. Oh, my mouse moved. There we go. So let's pound this out. So the one thing is, it's really important to, oh, there's a good tool mark that we need to get out. You want to make sure that the front is the side that normally has a bend. Make sure that everything is nice on this side, because we can go a little bit harder on the back side. But this is the side we want to keep smooth and clean. Okay. So let's see if I can get you zoomed in here. I'll try and do it with the Canon. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get it with that. Maybe kind of close. So I'll use this guy to show you what I'm using. It's too tall. There we go. Get up there. Okay, so I will be using these bits here. We're using the drum, the diamond bits, and then over here, oh, that thing just dropped down on me. All right. Works in progress, right? I will eventually get this. There we go. So I have these different abrasive discs. So we're going to go through those, but we're going to start with our drum here first. So let me see if I can get you guys over there. All right, you're done there, dude. Okay. So I'm going to put my glasses back on. These are, they have 5 different lenses for them. These are the middle ones. They let me see really good about a foot out. So like right here, well, maybe 9 inches or so. So let me get in here, show you, there's a tool mark right there. You can see a rounded spot right there. I've got some small scratches and a little ding right there. And then this big guy back here. Let's see, can you guys see that? See that black spot? That's from, I think that's from the flat pliers. I believe the glasses are in the description. If they're not, I will make sure that they get in there. I'm pretty sure they are though. First thing we're gonna do though is, did my camera freeze? What is going on today? Okay, what is going on here? I'll bring you over here. Oh, that's what changed. Okay. Whew. All right, so switching over to this camera. There we go. Now it wants to focus. So the black mark is right here. This is a pretty good ding. We're going to take anything you feel with your fingernail. I would start with either the highest abrasive disc that you have or one of these drums. And I like to use the used drums for this because they're less abrasive. So let's do this. I have it set at 5. And I'm barely going to touch it. Because I'm not trying to go down through the plate, but I just want to barely move that mark. And it's more about blending it into the other stuff around it. So if you kind of keep going at it, oh, come on. Sorry. Okay, so I'm just barely touching this thing. Let's see if I can zoom you in. Okay, I can see marks there. So like I said, I'm barely touching it. Anything I can feel with my finger, that's what I'm going after right now with this guy. And like I said, I'm just, that was the black mark. I'm just blended it into the rest of it around it. Saw some more big scratches. I look for all of them with my nails. Okay, that looks okay. We got one here. You don't want to go sweeping all across the whole thing because then you have to take out all of those marks. Because as you go with the sandpaper or with the abrasive discs, you're going to end up having to go through more aggressive Thank you. I'm trying. So I'm going to start with the 120. Even though, so I'm using the 120 abrasive disc. It doesn't want to go in there. I have a new one of these on order. Every once in a while they just stop working and die. But I just ordered the tips, or just the hand pieces. So from here, I'm going to be blending in the spot where we touched. And actually, I'm going to have to go down. Can't go down. I got one more below it. So if you're seeing that your disc is not moving the metal, you should see the metal moving around it. So I was moving this piece right here. Yeah, right there, that bright spot. That was the spot I'm trying to blend. But there's some pieces in there that are deeper than the metal around it. So that's what I'm trying to blend in, those little nicks. And I think without my glasses on, I wouldn't even see them right now. And again, we're just barely touching this. You'll be able to see really easy the metal moving, getting taken out and shaped. And I'm just barely touching this thing. The more that you take off, that's the more plate damage that you're doing. Especially with this high abrasive one. And remember, we're just blending. Trying to work it in to look like the rest of it. Okay, I think that's the last of our big ones. Okay, that's just stuff. Okay, I'm good with that. Okay, now I'm going to go up to the 220. So I'm skipping one grit. If I can skip the grit, I would rather do that because I will end up with a higher shine faster. But if it's not moving the metal again, then I got to drop back down that one. So we're on number 3 now, which is 220. I'm going to go a little bit more blending into the rest of the piece there. It's helping everything look a lot shinier. Sorry, forgot where you guys could see. And since we're at this one, this will also take out some of those other marks without really damaging, unless you're holding it in the same spot. So we'll use this to clean up any of the other little marks and the dirt and grit that's on there. And again, I'm just barely touching it, just watching the metal get shiny. It's very satisfying to see those little tiny scratches from the manufacturer just kind of come out of there. Everything just nice and smooth. Okay. It's also the time you want to get in those places you're not going to be able to get to later. Well, I guess with this it's not such a problem. With the Forktopus and some of the other like stone setting and things like that, you're not going to be able to get back into these spots, but these guys are good. Okay. I knew there was another spot. Okay. I think that's good. Alright. Let's bump up. Let's skip one and go up to 400. And this one, you're just going to watch it go straight to shiny. And there's 3 more levels to go. We're not going to go that far though. I'm just trying to get out any of those little tool marks. And now what we're trying to get out is the marks from these guys, from the abrasive disc. Okay. A little spot right there. And the whole time you want to be wary of how hard you're pushing, because this will take off the plate. I'm going to bump this up nice and slow. Flip it over, I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, so I think this is where we're gonna, I guess I was using the high grit disc, 400, 500, 800. Yeah, you might have been too high on the disc, because our next one is 400 and then 1,000 and then 2,500. But right now you can see, let me see if I flip this over, if this guy's working now. Nope. The last time it was the camera not working. Okay, so we'll see if that pops back up. Close that, bring that down, bring that down. Okay, so right now we're nice and shiny. And so what we're going to do next, let me zoom you guys out. Let's see. There it is. All right, let's unzoom you guys. And nothing. I got it back. I figured out how to do it. You don't want that. I'll take this one though. Yay, we're back. Woohoo! Okay, so nice and shiny. We're going to tap this down. Yes, you're not going to see anything. So I'm just barely tapping it together. Okay, so we've got these guys almost next to each other. And get just a touch more. Okay, so there we go. We're all set with that. I'm just going to put it to the buffer real quick here. I'm just using the Red Rouge. Let's get rid of these glasses and put these glasses on. Okay. So now that we have the head made, we're going to cut it down. I should be able to go like this. All right, so down here I have okay, let's see. Basically, it's just my marker. So this one was going to be 3 inches. So we're going to take our highest point here, which is right there. We're going to go 3 inches, flip it right over, bring it to the line, 3 inches. Now we'll put it in our handy dandy clips. I just always use the vise. It's just so much easier. And I always keep the side that I want to keep on my side. So in my hand is the piece that I want to keep. So again, I'm keeping the back side here. We'll cut this off. Okay, let's get this out of the block. So now we've got our 2 pieces. We're going to go over to the sander here real quick, and I'm just going to take the edges off of these. I'm doing these for somebody else. I'm not sure what they would probably go. I would probably say $35 or so. Let me get my glasses back on. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and mark these. I got a punch. I got my little ball peen hammer. I like the metal hammers when I do this. And here's a tip for you. I noticed it earlier, so if you take your Dremel tool, you can use your wheel and you can sharpen these things. So I'm just holding it here at an angle and I'm just spinning it with my fingers. All right. Now I have a nice sharp point. That sharp point allows me to really stick to the metal. So wherever I put it, I don't have to worry about it sliding so much. Okay, so we have a hole in both of our bottoms. Now this is the part that you want to pay attention to. These are going together like this. Okay, so these guys are going together. There we go. So if these were like this, I would put 2 marks. I would put 2 jump rings in here, but it looks like it's only going to be 1. So these guys match up. I'm just going to go for the flower. Okay, so we got the hole for our flower. That's going to be the jump ring. Next, we're going to zoom you guys out. Wrong way. Got my drill press over here. I don't need these glasses anymore. Let me put on my other ones. Beeswax. All right. Bring you guys back to me. I knew you were going to ask that, and I have the answer to that somewhere. Oh, it's over here. Okay. So that is a these are my cobalt bits, which I normally use. I think this is the size of the one that I have out. Yep. So the hole is 3/32. These cobalt bits, I don't have a link for them, but they are worth their weight in gold. So I'm going to finish this one. What I'm going to do is it's okay. Ask all the questions you want. That's why I'm here. Okay, so I got a new drum on here. You flip this to this. So what I'm going to do now is take off the burrs. So there's these little burrs on here. I'm just going to take those off. Make sure there's no, and I'm also going to take at the same time and round these off, make them nice and smooth. So this one has 2 of those burrs. if you pull your finger across them and you still feel some metal, kind of just get the tip in there to get everything smooth. Also, whenever you put them in the tumbler, if you tumble them, that will smooth them out too. So if you get these pieces off there, so we got that. Another thing I like to do is put a bit through the middle of it. I'll normally Dremel these in there, but these guys are open, so that way I don't have a problem later with the wire. All right, now to the fun part. Get you guys moved over here. Now we're gonna bend them. Okay, I thought I felt a burn. This wheel is from the Flatware system. Unzoom it a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I like those too. Okay, here we go. So the way I do these, I just hold them to the edge. I make sure I set my press up to where I will find a remote for this thing. I adjust my press so that I'm right here with the most amount of force instead of being up here, because it can start hurting your arms and hurt your shoulder. So I'm just grabbing the ends and I'm going to start in here, making sure it's straight. I'm going to roll it around a little bit. Once I get to there, I'm going to grab it with my left hand. Grab it with my left hand, and I'm pulling down here, and I'm going to hammer with the hard nylon tip. I'm just going to flip it over. Eventually these blocks get worn down and they'll get these deep trenches in them. So I just do that to make sure that I get them nice and round. So these guys are a little bit more finicky because we've made them all different kinds of shapes. So I like to start them closer to the middle, and I bend these really slow. So once this comes under, I'm going to hold the metal to the wheel until it starts to hit. And then again, nice and slow, I'm going to push it under. There we go. We got a nice round shape. If these are thicker, something I had to do was right here on this flat part, put it in the vise or in your press, get that flat spot and just barely pull down on it, and you'll see it start to bend it, and you'll get rid of that big flat area. So now we have a bracelet. Do I have jump rings in here? I don't believe I do. I think they're still in the shop inside. So let's flip over to this guy. So it's going to be just like a regular bracelet. Nice and even on your wrist. this one is going to get one jump ring here. And the jump ring is going to go through the highest point. So it will go through that to that. And then whatever you normally use for your bottoms. I'll show you a double one that I did. If I can find it here. Yeah, here's a double one. So I made this one earlier, and I see the two holes. Those two holes match up with the fork. So with the two of them on there, it's not going to be sliding all over the place, but that's that. So that's 12 I made in, how long are we right now? We're right at an hour. I think I did all 12 in about 4 hours, maybe? I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. I'm pretty sure that I could do each one in about an hour. Wrong way. A black chunk of something on my nose. All right. So if you guys like what you see and want to keep following me, please subscribe. We are almost at 5,000 or 6,000 subscribers. Once we get there, almost 5,000. So 4,703 as of right now. So we're almost there. Whenever we hit that 5,000 or just before that 5,000, I'm going to ask you guys what you want me to make, and I'm going to give it away. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial. I'm sorry that it's an hour long. I was trying to make it shorter, but it's hard to talk and do things at the same time. Okay, so I hope you guys all have a good night. Thank you for joining me and talking with me. Thank you. I don't know about bowing to me or anything, but I appreciate you. I do. I really appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with me. I will see you guys next time. Salmon season is here, so I'm going fishing.